Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Erin and today is Friday, which means it is Book Review Friday once again. Today we are talking about The Nightmare Girl by Jonathan Janz. I showed this book in my recent haul video and a lot of you guys seemed interested in this one, so I decided to read this book first. But don't worry, I will get to the others in time. So let's chat about the cover. I like the simplicity of this cover. It's very simple. There's not a lot to it. It's very dark. You have the girl right here, which makes complete sense once you read the book. I like the cover. I think it's cool. I think it looks nice and it's pretty to look at, so I'm not disappointed in it. And it suits the plot of the book, which you know is a huge thing of mine. If the cover doesn't match the book, I get annoyed because I just don't understand why some people have covers that don't really mesh with the plot. But this one does, so I'm happy to say that. So let's get into my synopsis and then I will tell you guys my overall thoughts on this book. Joe Crawford is a family man through and through. Nothing is more important to him than his wife and his little girl. So when he witnesses a mother abusing her child at a gas station, he does not hesitate to step in. His stepping in results in a very heated and dangerous response from the mother and the child's grandmother. They're quick to attack him physically in public for nosing in on family business. The whole ordeal ends with the child being taken away from his mother. When the grief-stricken mother commits suicide, Joe starts realizing what this family was involved in and how much danger Joe and his family are in. Because not only did he stop the abuse, he interfered with a cult, and this cult is not happy. They blame Joe for the child being taken away and for the mother's suicide, and they want revenge. Okay, that's going to do it for the synopsis. Let's get into my overall thoughts and opinions on this book. If you don't know, I'm a big fan of the cult subgenre in horror. I love cult movies, cult books. I just find them so fascinating, and I think it's because cults are real. There are people that join cults or are forced to join cults or are born into cults. There's always a cult around. There will always probably be cults. Unfortunately, I don't think they'll probably ever go away. I think there's something that we'll always have to kind of hear about and deal with, even if it's not super in your face. But another thing I really like about cult books is no two are ever really the same. They're all very different. I feel like you're always going to get a different take on cults. Every author does something a little bit different. They're always going to be just slightly different from each other, and I really like that because I like seeing how authors take cults and make them unique to their writing style. So it's always something I really enjoy reading from authors is cult books, because I just like seeing how they're going to write about them. I have a feeling that this book is going to be extremely hard for people to read who are a parent or who love children, because like I said, this book starts off with a scene of abuse. I personally don't think it was that graphic or hard to read. I don't feel that parental nature over a human child. I do with my dog. She's my child, and I am very, very crazy about her. But I don't have like a human kid, so I don't really know how people with children will really react to this kind of book. And the whole book really deals with children in general. So, I mean, if that's like a really big trigger for you, you might have a hard time reading this book. But I personally can't really say because I don't know how to gauge that because I don't have a child. So I would just be cautious if you are someone who gets really triggered by child abuse, even if it's just like briefly mentioned. It's not super bad, but you know, it is an overall topic of the book. So just be wary, you know, it does deal with children. So if that's like a no-no for you, I probably wouldn't read this book. On the flip side, this book is emotional, I feel, in two different ways. It's emotional in the sense of you have to hear about children being hurt, but also because you get to see parenthood from Joe's perspective. Joe loves his kid so freaking much. He's a really good parent. He's a really great main character, and he loves his child. Like, you can just tell by reading and how he like does certain things that he just absolutely adores his little girl. So I think that's also another emotional part of the book. It's the abuse, but then also the love that he has for his child. So it's very interesting to see the contrast between the two. But yeah, so this book is pretty emotional, I think, in my opinion. But if you're not really an emotional person, I don't think you'll really have that big of a deal reading this. Like I said, I really like Joe as a main character. I think he really tries super hard to do the right thing all the time. Like, every time he's faced with a choice, he's always trying to figure out what is the best option, what is going to be the best outcome, what is going to be the right thing to do. And I appreciate that, because sometimes, you know, main characters can be a little, you know, they can just be meh. They don't really care who they're hurting or, you know, what. I don't know. I just liked that Joe really cared about a lot of people, you know, not just necessarily his family, but people that he was close to. He really cares about people that are important to him, and I don't know, I really liked Joe. I thought he was a good guy. Like, he was just a good main character. I also really liked his relationship with his wife. I thought they had a really good relationship. You could tell how deeply they were, like, in love, and you don't always get that in horror books. I feel like there's always some relationship drama between the husband and wife, like they're divorcing or they're separated or they just went through some traumatic event, so they're not on the same page and emotionally they're not connecting anymore. I don't know, there's always some relationship turmoil in horror books, so it was nice to see that the husband and wife actually just had like a really good, strong relationship for once. I don't always get that, so it was nice to have that for a change. Like I said, Joe's a great dad. He loves his daughter so flippin' much, and really the entire book is just him trying to protect his daughter. Protecting his daughter and protecting his wife are his main goals. He does not care how or what he has to do. He's just going to protect his family. And I don't know, I really like him. I thought he was a good main character. I don't know how many times I can say that. I just felt like I was rooting for him the entire time. I didn't feel like I don't know, sometimes I feel like I can't connect with a main character, and I just felt like Joe, right off the bat, I was like, I like Joe. He's a good guy. His relationship with Daryl Copeland, who is a police officer in the book, is just so cute. I know that sounds weird, but they're just such good friends, and they have banter, and their conversations are funny, and it's a nice difference to the horror that is happening inside the book. You get these funny, cute, easygoing moments between the two, and then, you know, there's just all this chaos and hecticness happening outside of their little bubble. But it is a nice little break in between all the bad to just see their little cute, sweet relationship as friends. Now, I just rambled on about how much I love Joe as a main character. There were a couple times where he did stuff that I was just kind of like, I know he's smart and I know he can figure things out easier and better than some of the other things in the book, and I was just kind of like, if you're this smart, how did you not realize this was happening? Like, I love you, but like, it doesn't really make sense. I felt like he was super smart, but then he would do something really stupid, and I guess that is realistic, but it's just so annoying as a reader to have the main character do everything right and then do this big mess up, and you're just kind of like, why would you do that? You're better than this. You're better than this. But I guess it is realistic that he would mess up a little bit. It's just slightly aggravating. So I feel like this book really did cults well. It made the cult scary and terrifying and a big threat. And I feel like sometimes in horror books, not always, but sometimes when there is a cult, it's kind of almost this joke, or they're not as scary and big and this looming threat that they should be. I just feel like when you're gonna do a cult book, the cult has to be like the main bad thing, you know? And sometimes I feel like authors don't give the cults that much power as they should. I mean, I know that it's a book and it's not real, but in reality, cults get away with a lot of things. Like, you know, there are cults that took forever to stop, and there are cults still going on to this day. And I just feel like in books sometimes it doesn't make the cult this big threat when the cult should be. It should be this really scary, frightening aspect to the book, and I felt like this book actually did that, which I really appreciate, because I don't know, I think cults are very scary, and so I want them to be super terrifying in the book, because that's what I think of a cult. So when books don't give me that, it's just a little upsetting, I guess. I'm not saying all books are like this, definitely not. I have read some really great books involving cults that make the cult the dangerous threat that it should be. But I've also read some books where I was kind of like, why didn't you take it just a bit further? Of course, that is just my opinion, and I'm sure other people don't agree. But for me, I always want the cult to just be really terrifying. And I feel like this book did a really good job of showing how dangerous and scary and how much of a threat this cult was. So I really appreciated that. The last 40 pages of this book is a whirlwind. It's so crazy. It feels like one event happens and it just triggers a snowball. Like, I'm saying one thing happens and it's just zoom, you're in complete chaos. I did not expect it. I did not see the last 40 pages coming, because I don't know, the whole book was pretty smooth, and I know that sounds kind of weird, but it felt like every time something bad happened, there was always a way to counteract it. The main characters always did something that, you know, made the bad thing less daunting, right? So there was always just a good smooth transition. You knew that there was still bad things to come, but it almost felt like they just kind of smoothed them over for a minute. And I guess that was the point, because all the smoothness came barreling back at them and they were lost in the mountains of roughness. I know that sounds strange. It's just so crazy because the last 40 pages just hit you out of nowhere, and I guess I should have expected it because everything was going so smooth that there was bound to be something super bad to happen, but I guess I was just really caught off guard, and man, the last 40 pages had me on the edge of my seat. I was panicking. I was panicking. I was in distress. I had no idea how this was going to end. I didn't know the outcome. I literally could not tell you what was going to happen. It was just so up in the air. The ending. So I was actually expecting a bad ending. I really thought this was gonna end badly because of the events that were taking place in the last 40 pages. It was just hard to see how there was going to be a good outcome because it was just really bad. So I was actually surprised that this did have a pretty good ending. I was really surprised, and you know I love a good ending. You know I like when it ends good because I don't like being disappointed with bad endings. So I was very, 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 very happy that this ended in a way that I liked. Maybe not everyone likes this kind of ending, but I definitely did, and I was very shocked by it. I didn't think I was gonna get this kind of ending, and I was pleasantly surprised by it. So yeah, that was The Nightmare Girl. This was my first book by Jonathan Janz. I had a lot of fun reading it. I thought it was really good, and I will definitely be picking more up from this author. So there you go, guys, The Nightmare Girl. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you have read this book, and if you have, please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. We can talk about this book. I need to know someone's opinion of certain scenes. There are certain scenes I would like to talk about. So if you have read this book and you would like to talk about it, please let me know, because I need to talk about it with somebody. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. It lets me know what kind of content you enjoy from me. That way I can keep providing you with that kind of content. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We can become friends, talk about makeup, books, movies, horror, all kinds of things. I do a lot on this channel, so hopefully there's something for everyone. And with that being said, I hope you guys are having a great Friday, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I will see you on Monday with another video. Bye!